Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be giving you my Capricorn September 2018 horoscope forecast. And yes, this does apply and pertain to the Sun, Moon, and Ascendant. Anyway, people, first thing up is as far as September goes, the Sun will be in Virgo from the 1st until the 22nd, so the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on in-laws, grandchildren, philosophy, higher education, religion, publishing, traveling abroad, the law, abstract thinking. And given that this is Virgo energy, this could be done with a lot of, these 9th house matters could be done with a lot of meticulous attention to detail, very systematic, methodical, organized, very perfunctorily, but with a little pensive, worrisome energy. You might find yourself focusing, unfortunately, doing a lot of worrying on these 9th house matters, perhaps in-laws and grandchildren, especially if applicable. And But anyway, the next thing up is, well, the Sun will be in the Sun will be in Libra as far as September goes from the 22nd until the 30th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, there could be a strong concentration of energy, focus, and attention on one's career, authority figures, the dominant parent, which is often the father, the public image, reputation, notoriety, status recognition, stature in life, social status, and attaining success, and perhaps even attaining a position of authority. Now, given this is Libra energy, this could be done with a lot of weighing the pros and cons, some ambivalence and indecisiveness, perhaps bouncing ideas off others. You might find yourself bouncing ideas off the dominant parent, which is often the father, and authority figures as well. And perhaps with this could be done with a lot of intellectual sociability, and also with a lot of diplomacy and tact as well, and also very equitable and fair-minded manner at the same time. And anyway, well, the next thing up is the new moon will be in Virgo as far as September, the new moon will be in Virgo on September 9th. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, in some cases, this could be a new Virgo in-law or grandchild. It could be a Virgo sun, moon, or ascendant, or simply one that embodies Virgo-like characteristics. This could be a new period of very analytical, detail-oriented, abstract thinking. Maybe it's a new period where you begin this. Some cases, this could be a new Virgo, a publishing venture or endeavor. It could be something connected with health or nutrition or diet, some kind of physical fitness, something that is connected with some kind of organizing, something that may be that could really entail a lot of details, a very detail-oriented thing that may be published. I mean, if let's say, you're talking about really something also that this could be about another thing that this might be. It might be the start of a new Virgo like college course. It could be something connected with doing something with data entry, computer programming, something where you're doing maybe some kind of health or fitness course, something with nutrition or diet. It could even be something like sports medicine, something where maybe you're something that could be Virgo related. And again, the sports medicine I'm saying because of medicine. And anyway, and about making people healthy. So anyway, next thing up. Well, the full moon will be in Aries on September 24th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you may become somewhat tired, exasperated, full, so to speak, at a rather acerbic, acrimonious, combative family member. It could be somebody that you may simply feel close to home with. someone prominent in your family life. And it could be too at this time, some cases this could be the completion or culmination of a leadership role in the family. Maybe a contentious, acrimonious situation with family member comes to a completion at this time. And also the way this can manifest is full, aggressive, assertive energy, putting a lot of initiative into getting to the bottom perhaps of roots and ancestry as well. And a lot of times full moons can be about revelations or unveilings, and this could be about a revelation or unveiling of a rather egocentric, self-centered, acrimonious, or acerbic family member, even someone that might be warmongering. So anyway, well, the next thing up is Mercury will be in Leo as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 6th. So the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, this could manifest perhaps in dominating conversations with an intimate partner, or someone you're having an intimate relationship with, or a sexual partner, and perhaps speaking with authority with this person as well. Could be also about boasting and bragging about an inheritance or emotional moral support you may be giving to others. And keep in mind too that boast, I mean, you may want to be careful if you received a prodigious inheritance about the boasting and bragging end of it, because you may not want too many people to know about it. So anyway, and also this can manifest in giving generous moral support to others. And again, as I've stated in previous videos, that Mercury can also be about siblings. It's not just about communications. It could be where Leo siblings might figure prominently in making a major change or transformation, or sadly in some cases even involved in a crisis, but may actually help you in one as well. They could be Leo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Leo-like characteristics. So anyway, and also it might be where you may be talking generously and with a lot of confidence and self-assuredness about insurance matters, tax matters, and even other 8th house matters, such as things connected with psychology, the occult, supernatural, and it could include astrology. Anyway, next thing up is Mercury will be in Virgo as far as September goes, from the 6th until the 22nd. So the 9th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this could be a lot of analytical, detail-oriented conversations with in-laws, with grandchildren. You'd be wary about being overly judgmental and critical of these people, and perhaps even foreigners, and maybe people you may know at a religious congregation as well. But also, again, as I've stated previously, that Mercury can also be about siblings. It's not just about communications. It could be that Virgo siblings may figure prominently in philosophy, in your religion at this time, maybe even plans for traveling abroad. They could be Virgo, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Virgo-like characteristics. And also, too, could also be about where you may find yourself doing something that, as far as publishing at this time, but doing it with a lot of editing and revising, and there might be a lot of worrisome energy blended in with this as well, and a lot of correction, because I mean Virgo energy is about that, but that could actually be very auspicious and positive, because with more correction you have a better chance of actually getting it out in the right manner, and with less errors or flaws in the writing. So anyway, next thing up. Well, Mercury will be in Libra as far as September goes, from the 22nd until the 30th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you may find yourself speaking with more tact and diplomacy with authority figures, the dominant parent, which is often the father. You may find yourself balancing the pros and cons of career-related matters, and also this could be another way this could manifest. Perhaps in some cases it could be Libra siblings might figure more prominently in your reputation, your public image at this time, and maybe even in career matters. It could be Libra, Sun, Moon, Ascendant people, or simply ones that embody Libra-like characteristics. So And also there might be more thinking, perhaps, of ingratiating the self with others in order to improve stature in life and social status. So anyway, next thing up is Venus will be in Libra as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 9th. So the 10th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, this could be about valuing a lot of peace and intact diplomacy in your career. It could also, in balance as well, you may find yourself playing Libra-like games with the dominant parent, authority figures, perhaps people prominent in your career. It could be games like Law and Order or People's Court. And also, too, you may find that if you are unattached at this time, Capricorn, that you might connect with a Libra, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant that might really play a vital role and an integral role in your social status and your career, and being able to perhaps help you attain some kind of notoriety and recognition. So anyway, well, next thing up is Venus will be in Scorpio as far as September goes, from the 9th until the 30th. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you might find yourself doing some secretive, rather surreptitious spending, perhaps on friends, aspirations, and your goals. It could be the enjoyment, perhaps, of Scorpio-like things with friends and acquaintances. It could be something like matters with something with astrology, the occult, supernatural. It could be even playing a Ouija board. It could even be doing locksmithing if that is a hobby of yours, alchemy, something that could be Scorpio related, recycling. Also, too, this could also manifest perhaps in doing, if you're unattached at this time, Capricorn, you may connect with a Scorpio at some group, club, or organization. And it could be either a Scorpio, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant, or simply one that embodies Scorpio-like characteristics. And also, too, value. This could also be about the enjoyment of really looking deep into your future at this time, and also valuing going beyond subterfuge and superficiality with acquaintances and with friends as well. So anyway, and also perhaps valuing transformation, which could impact the future. So anyway, next thing up, Mars will be in Capricorn as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 10th. So the 1st house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, this can manifest perhaps in a lot of regimented, consistent energy that's very premeditated and planned into new beginnings, matters with the early childhood, something where maybe doing something with the physical body, especially if this is actually hitting the 1st house in one's natal chart. You might find yourself getting involved in more arguments, perhaps with people maybe tied in. Maybe it could be someone from your early childhood, someone that is involved with a new beginning of yours. It might be over responsibilities, over government, over politics at this time. Also, too, you might find yourself having more vitality and energy than usual. Energy may be abundant and very consistent and disciplined energy as well. Sometimes surgery. This could be about surgery in some cases, and it could be on something Capricorn related, such as the knees, the bones, or the joints. And you might come across a little bit more at this time, more disputatious and argumentative and more outspoken than usual on a first impression. Capricorn energy does blend in with this, of course, so you might be trying to articulate things in a certain way where it might come across a little bit better, being more prudent with what you say, but at the same time you may still come across more outspoken than usual on a first impression. So anyway, next thing up is Mars will be in Aquarius as far as September goes, from the 10th until the 30th. So the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this could manifest perhaps in where you might become a little bit more angry, a little more acerbic if somebody is doing something with your possessions. It might be very spontaneous, unpredictable angry outbursts, being that this is Aquarius energy. You may be somewhat become angry at perhaps idiosyncratic, bizarre, unusual behavior from a person maybe you actually value, and it could be somebody that that you might be generating income with. And also, too, putting energy perhaps into ingenuity, innovation might help improve self-esteem and self-worth. And also, you might find yourself putting a lot of energy and vitality into something Aquarius related, such as computers, electronics, astrology, aerospace, innovation, and it could be generating income in the process. So anyway, hold on a second, people. Well, sorry about that. Well, the next thing up is Jupiter will be in Scorpio still. So the 11th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted at this time. Well, this may manifest, I mean, I've talked about this in previous videos, and Jupiter can be somewhat paradoxical. It's very strongly benign and benevolent, but it could also have a tendency to enlarge and expand. In some cases, this could expand surreptitious, nefarious, even manipulative behavior from friends, from acquaintances, people that you may know in your in some group, club, or organization. This could also be about putting a lot of exuberance and enthusiasm in Scorpio-like things, in goals and aspirations. It could be something connected with the occult, supernatural, astrology, locksmithing, some kind of investigation, recycling, perhaps something that could be Scorpio related. And also this could manifest perhaps in having a very profound, deep philosophy, which could be connected with your future. And also, I mean, and also it could be a very fortuitous time for going beyond subterfuge and superficiality with friends and acquaintances. And also, you might find out about some kind of secrets may be unveiled in some 11th house matter. It could be over a friend, an acquaintance. Maybe it's some group, club, or organization you may belong to. So anyway, next thing up. Saturn will still be in Capricorn, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, you may find yourself having more restrictions and limitations with the physical body than usual, especially if this is actually hitting one's first house in the natal chart. It could be where this could also manifest in responsibilities to the physical body, to making a first impression and new beginnings. Older people might play an integral role in your new beginnings at this time. It could be also, too, where you might be taking care of some cases of someone you knew in your early childhood that might be debilitated or sickly, and it could be something connected with the knees, the bones, or the joints, and might be making you feel somewhat despondent and melancholy at this time. But another way this could manifest is that, going back to the restrictions with the physical body, this could be causing, you may be at a point where you might be somewhat debilitated at this time, and it could be something Capricorn related. And it could also be where you might find yourself you're a little bit more inhibited, the way you're coming across and expressing yourself. And you might, another way this can manifest, perhaps, is that maybe you just feel, this might be causing some restrictions again with the physical body, and there could be a propensity to lose weight at this time. Anyway, next thing up. Uranus will be in Taurus still, so the 5th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. At this time, well, in some cases, this could be about Taurus friendships impacting one's fun, amusement, and enjoyment. It could be Taurus, Sun, Moon, or Ascendant people, or simply one's that embody Taurus-like characteristics. You might find that your love life and romantic life might be more sporadic and erratic than usual. There may be more unpredictable behavior from children, and it could be about some formulation of new financial plans, which might be tied into something of a speculative nature. It might be some kind of investment situation. So also too, I mean, this could also perhaps in some cases manifest just general, it could be about having, maybe developing some kind of unusual or really out there kind of bizarre hobby, or hobby. It could be something like a rocket jetpack, or doing something bungee cord jumping, something which might be somewhat unusual or be perceived as such. Anyway, next thing up is Neptune will be in Pisces still, so the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. In some cases, this could be about the dissipation and dissolving as far as connection, perhaps with siblings, with neighbors. It could be with cousins. You might find in some cases this could be about memory issues, and especially if there's other things that may reaffirm or reinforce, as such as Neptune making an adverse aspect to your Mercury. It could be, say, if it makes a square, opposition, or even an inconjunct to it. Another thing could be too is that siblings and cousins may be unclear and nebulous at this time, and it may be harder to diagnose something in terms of, like, say, something third house related, such as something connected with transportation, such as your vehicle, and being able to analyze and diagnose problems with it. It might be more confounding and confusing than usual. And also, I mean, you might find yourself communicating about dreams more, and other Neptune matter of things such as poetry, dancing, the metaphysical, which could include astrology, photography, chemicals, something where that, and also perhaps fantasies as well, something Neptune related. Anyway, next thing up is Pluto will be in Capricorn still, so the first house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, in some cases, I know a lot of you don't want me to say the dreaded D word, but you know I'm going to anyway. Some cases this could be an actual literal death of the person, or perhaps someone that you may have known from your early childhood. It also could be a good period though for making a major transformation. It could be of a physical one, especially if this is actually hitting the first house in one's natal chart. Now, also too, you might find yourself now maybe being a little bit more manipulative than usual at this time, but could also give power to new beginnings and perhaps some kind of rebirth or regeneration, but also guard against perhaps being more obsessive or compulsive at this time. Sometimes this can manifest in surgery, and since we're already talking about Mars in Capricorn in the first house being emphasized and highlighted with that, Pluto also can be connected with that, so it can increase the propensity of some kind of surgery going on at this time, and it could be something Capricorn related, such as something with the knees, the bones, or the joints. So anyway, next thing up is the North Node will be in Leo still, so the 8th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, well, when you're talking about the North Node in transit, this could be about issues one may have to address or confront. And in this particular case, it could be having to perhaps confront perhaps someone that's rather arrogant, bombastic, overbearing, egotistical, or domineering. And it may be somebody that you may be in an intimate or sexual relationship with. This is also about a time too where you may be directed toward being more generous and magnanimous in matters with shared resources, emotional or moral support, and also showing the courage and fortitude in making a major change or transformation. It could be about where you may have to be more extravagant, unfortunately, regarding 8th house matters such as taxes, insurance. In some cases, this could even manifest about the future being having some kind of surgery on something Leo related, such as the upper back or the heart. So anyway, and also the courage and fortitude in dealing with crisis could be another way this could manifest. So anyway, next thing up. The Black Moon Lilith will still be in Aquarius, so the second house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. So at this time, you may be experiencing, you're talking about the Black Moon Lilith. It could be about what could put one in a strong state of fear or trepidation. And this could be about perhaps losing or relinquishing freedom and independence over monetary matters, or maybe losing perhaps some kind of ingenuity in terms of making money, and maybe having too orthodox or conventional values. Hold on a second, people. Well, sorry about that, but anyway, going back to Black Moon Lilith and Aquarius and the second house being emphasized and highlighted. Well, another way this could manifest too is that this could be really about somebody maybe that you may be generating income with, and someone you may have actually had valued and maybe played a role in your values, I should say. It could be exhibiting some kind of idiosyncratic, bizarre, unusual, being overly eccentric. And it could also be, when you look at the Black Moon Lilith, another way this could come out and manifest is something that may be unveiled or revealed, that comes out of the bag, so to speak, that you didn't want to come out, but it does come out. And it could be something maybe over some kind of overly what might be seen as bizarre values, or perhaps maybe some way you're making money that might be somewhat unusual, that you didn't want anybody to know about, that might come out of the bag, so to speak. And it might be, or could even be, some kind of sporadic and erratic financial situation in some cases. And anyway, next thing up is Chiron will be in Aries as far as September goes, from the 1st until the 26th. So the 4th house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, as far as Chiron and Aries goes, I mean, this could be about, you're talking about, well, first, Chiron, of course, it could be about emotional wounds and suffering, sometimes physical ones. Now, in this particular case, well, this could be, Chiron Aries could be about lack of worthiness and feeling unworthy. It might be about, you might be feeling that, where maybe you're feeling some sort of unworthiness at the core, and maybe not even worthy of having some kind of family at this point in time. Maybe it's something about your self-worth as a family member that might be diminished at this time. Also, you might be going through some emotional suffering and wounds through lack of assertiveness and aggressiveness in home-related matters, maybe being overly passive in some cases, and also maybe by not taking charge, or being maybe times when you could have been more confrontational, and also too about maybe not taking the initiative and having enterprise to do something where you can be in a better position for your end of life period, whether it was maybe capitalizing on maybe some kind of investment opportunity, or what have you, in some opportunity where you could have been in a better position as far as your future went for the latter part of life. And also too, and really, but the thing about this is, though, when you're talking about, it also might be some combative and contentious situations with home and family members and people that you're close to home with. So anyway, but when you're talking about Chiron, in this case Chiron Aries, well, Chiron is the wounded healer. So in ways that you might be going through some emotional suffering and struggling in connection with Chiron Aries in the 4th house, you could actually may have the opportunity to help others out dealing with comparable situations, and do so with a lot of Aries like courage, fortitude, aggressiveness, assertiveness, and enterprise. Last but not least, Chiron will be in Pisces as far as September goes, from the 26th until the 30th. So the third house is what will be emphasized and highlighted. Now, given that this is retrograde Chiron in Pisces, and you're talking about the third house being emphasized and highlighted, sadly, in some cases it could be about a sibling, a cousin, or neighbor reverting back to some alcohol or drug use at this time. And you may be going through some emotional wounds and suffering by being deceived in communications, maybe dealing with deceptive or duplicitous neighbors or siblings or cousins or people that are prominent in your short journeys. It could also be about maybe dealing with nebulous thinking at this time and not seeing the fine print and the details in things, and maybe chaotic situations with your neighbors, with your siblings and cousins even at this time. And also, I mean, just general lack of direction. Could it be lack of direction in short journeys? Well, in some cases, but I'm really being facetious as far as that goes. But anyway, in matters that you're going through some struggles and emotional suffering and struggles or what have you that are connected with Chiron and Pisces and that third house, you can help others deal with comparable situations and do so with a lot of Pisces, like empathy, compassion, self-sacrifice, and even in idealism. Anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for my Capricorn September 2018 horoscope forecast. Stay tuned next time where I'll be giving you my take on the upcoming September 9th, 2018 new moon in Virgo. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.